Nashville Broadcasting Network presents Laura Dodd's Video Jukebox, where the independent artist videos are shown right alongside of our weekly legendary performers. Our in-studio guests, the latest music industry gossip, and our very own Video Jukebox news makes this show unique, fun, and informative. And now, here's your host for Video Jukebox, Ms. Laura Dodd.
Welcome to Video Jukebox. I'm Laura Dodd. We have for you a special guest, producer, engineer, musician, and songwriter, Mark Moseley.
Well, I told you we'd have our special guest with us right up next. And here he is, Mark Moseley. Thank you for joining us, Mark.
Oh, thank you, Laura. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited about having you. I can't wait for you to tell us all about your career and what you've been doing lately and what all you've done. Could you just tell us a little bit about Moseley Guitars?
Sure. Moseley Guitar is like a family legacy for me. My uncle built his first Moseley guitar in about 1956.
And that's Semi Moseley?
Semi Moseley was my uncle's name, and my dad was in there too. I mean, he was helping him.
Andy?
Andy. And he became vice president of Moseley Guitars. And Moseley Guitar was really hit its big height of the guitar industry probably about 1964, 65.
But who did you have the pleasure of meeting through all of these, through your guitar experiences? I'm sure you met a lot of artists. Who
yeah. Well, the first one of the first guitars my uncle built was for Joe Maphis. It was a double neck guitar. And in fact, I think that my uncle built one of the first double neck guitars ever built.
Oh my gracious!
So, and it's that particular guitar is in the Country Music Hall of Fame right now. And but I've had the pleasure of meeting so many people. One person in particular that comes to mind is Glenn Campbell, because Glenn Campbell, I don't know if you have a copy of his Gentle on My Mind album or his Hey Little One album, on the front cover of those are Moseley guitars. And Glenn Campbell, before he started playing Ovation, played Moseley guitars. In fact, I had the pleasure, I was about 12 or 13 years old and went down with my dad almost every weekend to give Glenn a new guitar for when he took over the Smothers Brothers show before the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour. So every week he played a different Moseley guitar on the television show.
My gracious!
But some of the people that played Moseley guitar, of course, were the Happy Goodmans, the Hensons. I said Joe and Rosalie Maphis, but Iron Butterfly. Remember In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida?
Yes.
That was played on a Moseley guitar. Joe Maphis also played the theme for Bonanza on a Moseley guitar.
Wow, Mark. Well, you have lots of experience with all these major guitar players.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait to hear about more of it. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back right after these messages.
Okay.
Welcome back to Video Jukebox, where we're with our special guest, Mark Moseley, and he has one of the most beautiful guitars I've ever seen, a Moseley guitar. Can you tell us about who all signed this guitar?
Well, this is a Moseley guitar, pretty much a reissue, because when my uncle passed away in the mid-'90s, a big Japanese guitar company acquired the name Moseley, and they're building to my uncle's specs. And my dad has fully endorsed this guitar, but we just did an album to sort of show off the new Moseley guitar.
Oh yeah.
And it's featuring Brent Mason and the guitar player for the Cars, Elliot Easton, Joe Maphis' son, Jody Maphis.
And did Joe Maphis sign this one?
No, Jody. Yeah, Jody did sign it. Yes.
Jody signed this.
Jody signed it, and I don't know if you know who Brent Mason is, but he plays on about 3/4 of the hit records that come out of Nashville.
He's one of the A studio recording artists.
He's really one of the best guitar players in the world. But anyway, some of the best guitar players from all over played on this particular album, which I brought a copy.
Oh,
to
the
show you.
Rebirth, Mozart Records. It's got
Yeah.
Nookie Edwards, Brent Mason, Elliot Easton, C.J. Ramone, the Ramones.
Of the Ramones, that's
and,
correct.
of course, Jody Maphis, Seymour Duncan, Alex Behart, and many others. Wow, what a great... And is this for sale?
It is. It
is?
is for sale, but it hasn't been fully
issued
released yet.
Okay.
But
we'll
they're-
look on your website to do that.
Yeah.
And
Great.
what, actually, I wanted to ask you, what all did you do? I know you're from Bakersfield, California,
Right.
but what all did you do when you were in Bakersfield on your career?
You know, I played in the clubs at an early age of 15, 16, before I was old enough to get in them. And then I started working a television show 5 days a week.
Oh, which one was that?
It was called the Jimmy Thomason Show. Now, Jimmy Thomason was the fiddle player for Governor Jimmy Davis years ago. If you know, You Are My Sunshine.
I sure do.
But anyway, so I played on that television show 5 days a week, and from there, I became a buckaroo in 1974 after Don Rich was killed.
Ah, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos,
That's correct.
Did you ever play his red, white, and blue guitar? The Mozart
I
guitar?
played his red, white, and blue Telecaster a few times.
Oh,
I sure
wow.
did. Yeah.
My goodness.
But,
I bet that was an experience and a half. He seemed like a really, really good guy, too.
Well, he was an incredible talent. He really was. But and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I got to play on several records.
Do Great Expectations, the
Right.
Buck
I
Owens,
played on that Buck Owens
song.
record, and I played on some Tony Booth records. I actually sang background vocals on some Tony Booth records.
My goodness.
And I played on some Susan Ray, if you know who Susan Ray is.
I do.
Susan Ray records. And in fact, anybody that came through Bakersfield recorded with the Buckaroos, so I got all that work.
So with the Buckaroos, did that move you to Nashville?
No, I actually, when I left Buck Owens, I went to Fresno for about 5 years and worked the club there. In 1981, I moved to Nashville and set up a small demo studio.
Oh.
And started working with Gary Paxton at the time.
Gary Paxton, was that the Monster?
Well, he produced the
it-
Monster Mash, but his big claim to fame was Alley Oop Oop. Oop Oop. That was his, he was the Hollywood Argyle, but he produced Cherry Pie, he produced Vern Gosdin, he produced an album on Dolly
So he
Parton.
brought you to Nashville.
Correct.
That's great. Well, I know we've got more questions to ask you in just a
Mark,
moment, but I wanted to ask you who actually is in this photo right here.
I don't think it needs any introduction.
Well,
But,
this was one of the last, you told me that this is one of the last performances that they did together, Porter and Dolly.
This is the last performance. This was at Porter's 50th anniversary in the Grand Ole Opry.
Wow.
And
you got
I
and
was,
you had it.
you know, we haven't mentioned the fact that I became a photographer the past like 15 years. I've
Oh,
been working on
wow.
that,
Yeah.
But I was Porter's photographer that night.
And you
by his
worked with
special
Porter.
Oh yeah,
Very closely.
I did. I've done about 15 albums on Porter, but a lot of them are on Gusto Records, and most of it's been gospel.
And not only have
So-
you done Porter Wagner, but you've done some with Dolly Parton, Tanya Tucker. You worked with Tim McGraw, our very first artist that we showed in the show. And you worked with who else?
Oh, I've worked with
Dottie
tons of people.
Rambo.
I did Tanya Tucker and Marty Stewart duet last night. So.
Oh,
But
wow.
anyway,
Wonderful.
yeah.
That's great. Well, you've got a new project also coming up that you're excited about, I know, and you've got him here actually.
Yeah, I brought a friend with me. His name's Pete Kennedy, correct? And he's an incredible Irish country singer. And we're working on a great project. We just got 6 sides on him, and he's going to come back in June and do part of
some more?
Fanfare and all that stuff when Fanfare's going on, and we're going to cut 6 more sides on him and finish his album. Good. And yeah, I brought him with me today.
And what's the website everybody can look up to see some more information on you and just to know all about Mark Moseley?
Well, you can go to SoundControlStudio.com. That's www.SoundControlStudio.com.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we're going to be right back. We're going to go to a commercial. Thank you, Mark, for being on the show with us today. I can't wait to see Pete Kennedy. And we'll be right back after these messages.